Since I post a lot of She-Ra content, I get way more like misogyny comments about like liberal weirdo propaganda telling women to not be women, buff women, ew, glimmer fat. This is like, honestly, they should have made her fatter. Honestly, I have had to delete some like just transphobia and misogyny, generally stuff like that. So it's just been very concerning, and I was like, okay, but I also have a lot of really good comments that make me so happy when I read them, so I wanted to give those a moment, as well as some other people bring up stuff that I've literally never thought about. I'm like, holy shit, that is a really good point. I love what you said there, and I feel like that deserves some like honor and mention as well, because, you know, I'm basically just making my channel like a She-Ra fan channel at the moment, and doing like analysis. So it's like, what do I want to do? I do want to have a deeper impact of like, let me explain like the representation stuff, the sexuality aspect. What are some topics I really care a lot about? If you watch my Fixing Adora self-loathing video, you know is kind of just like, don't live your life according to the expectations of people around you. But if I just title a video like that, nobody really cares, because that's just a statement. So it's like, if I can tie that into Adora, people who are interested in Adora and how Adora portrays that, then it's like, this is an impact that I want to have. That is one of the reasons why I like to tie stuff into She-Ra stuff. And also, I just really like She-Ra. I want to make videos on the topic, so it gives me an excuse to do both at the same time. I'm still in the makeup. I know it's kind of fucked from the worst She-Ra videos. I will be very busy during the holidays, so I'm not going to be reacting to all the comments. Some comments get held for review for some reason, so I did want to go through those. Oh my gosh, She-Ra, my whole childhood, love that show. It helped me so much with finding my identity. What? Because you said identity. Oh no, you said the woke word. This is evil. I approve of woke word. Underrated as hell. Good work. I forgot most of the series before watching this video, but I might go back to it. Yeah, you definitely should. I clicked this word, it was just catch or hate, and I'm so glad it's not. I love this analysis. Yeah, that's completely appropriate. I always find it really interesting when people talk about like the catch or hate, because I've only really seen it on TikTok. I haven't seen a whole lot of catch or hate videos, because people will be like, oh yes, I must disapprove of Catra's actions because cat Hitler. It's like, yeah, no shit. But like, to just sum up her character by that is like, oh, how dare a character be complex. So recently here on my Ace Rep is Bait video, it kept having copyright issues. So this is one of the comments that was on it. This is a really great video. You made a lot of really good points, and while also making an entertaining video, as somebody who's trying to figure out if I fall somewhere on the Ace level, I found this really educational. This is good. I love this comment. I think a really interesting thing is in episode 3, season 1, Raz, Queen Angela welcomes She-Ra to the rebellion, not by Adora's name herself. I think this could have potentially added to Adora's low self-worth, as she was welcome when she was She-Ra, not for who she was, just because she came from the Horde. I mentioned this up in like the why Catra didn't go with Adora video. People were not welcoming of Adora. They wanted to fucking slit her throat the moment they saw her. Catra, somebody who doesn't even really feel bad about the things she does, she's just adapting to a new circumstance, she would not be given any kind of good treatment. It takes Adora being She-Ra and then potentially being like, hey, please forgive my cat friend, please provide her safety. But Catra also was born to be a fighter and has like all these racist traits ingrained into her that were taught to her by the Horde, so she's just not set to live in this society. And that was one of Adora's biggest hurdles, was like overcoming and undoing all those learnings from the Horde to learn how to blend in with the society with the princesses. And if it wasn't for the powers of She-Ra, she would be a war prisoner and dead. But yeah, I forget about this moment. It's like, don't come back until you learn how to turn on She-Ra. Redo of healer mentioned in race representation. At 5, testosterone doesn't increase libido. There are some studies that found a correlation between impulsiveness, but they also say it could be a gender norm. It can also be tested on cis and trans men. I also feel like I'm asexual. I'm not fully, so I just use the label when needed. Otherwise, I say I'm me. It's very simpler than figuring out labels. The thing about labels is it's a lot easier to be like, I am this label, and people already know the label, as opposed to having to like explain it from the ground up. So that's where I find labels helpful. Personally, like I fall under Cupio, but people don't really know what Cupio is, so I just say like ace. It's already a subdivision of asexuality, so that's where it's like most genders fall under non-binary. Agender, gender fluid, those are like denominations of non-binary, so non-binary is like the de facto. But a lot of people don't really know what non-binary is. But yeah, just like there's like he, him, his, she, her, hers, they, them, theirs, and then it, its. There's only like 11 pronouns, and then everything beyond that is neopronouns. But like dude, bro, sis, ma'am, sir, lord, these are neopronouns. So it's just like neopronouns is just a part of our conversation. The N-word is a neopronoun. Haha, loser. Loser is a neopronoun. But yeah, labels. Lol. I do like the I love it when people LOL or like on shorts. It's just really funny because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have to check a bunch of my comments for hateful stuff to remove them because I don't want that on my stuff. I just like seeing like a positive one, like this person was clearly like enjoyed the thing that I uploaded. So that was always me. It's just like the one below. Oh my god, we got fucking Titan Lose profile picture base. I love this show so much in great dub. Purpley hearts. And then how Katra became subjective. TLDR, I love Entrapped in this video gave me the perfect excuse to ramble about the one pet peeve I can't seem to get over in my favorite show. Love that for me. Actually, oh my god, they got a rabbit in their profile picture. It's so cute. I love rabbits. I have a rabbit. They're kind of like a hassle to have as pets. I'm just burnt out on having pets. Chickens, ducks, dogs, doves, rabbits, and having worked for a farming store too, having to move 80-pound bags of horse pellets. I'm a little burnt out on animals. I am terribly biased because I absolutely adore Entrapped, but watching her be used and mistreated by the Princess Alliance was rough. When I read this line, I was like, fuck, yeah, Entrapped literally like said it. Bo and Glimmer were like, wait, you're with the Horde now? And she's like, the Horde's been so supportive. It's like, that's not a good reason to help somebody commit genocide, but like, it does point out how there is a distinct difference in how the Princess Alliance and the Horde treats neurodivergent people, and that is how Entrapped became subjective, because people don't realize that they're being ableist because it's just been so ingrained into society. So somebody's be like, well, I am being open-minded because I'm okay with having autistic friends, but how dare you tell me not to use the R slur? What is the objectivity here? We need to know, because there needs to be some lines in the sand, because the one line that you can't go against is respect. If you want to be respectful to autistic people, it's just like, don't use these slurs. You wouldn't call a white person the N-word, so you wouldn't call a neurotypical person the R word. But yeah, I've read most of these. We've got your back and you... Oh my god. Oh my god, this one. While I can forgive them for not valuing her skill set, I can't forgive them for not valuing her as a person. The cognitive dissonance. They were so willing to accept Entrapped's death and later allegiance to the Horde without the slightest hint of introspection for when she pleaded, I'm on the side of science and don't worry about me. The Horde's been so supportive. Even when they rescued her from Beast Island, their sole motive was to have her disable the heart of Etheria. And even after that, it didn't matter that she tried to reconnect with them. It was Scorpia, the Horde captain, who was actively trying to kill them all previously, that was the only one who begged them to try to see Entrapped as a human deserving of love and understanding, as she is. But she is also an ally trying to help. It took Entrapped literally risking her life to receive an Entrapped helped, and you are still a weirdo, but you did good today, and we've got your back any day. That fucking episode in season 5, it just the proof in the pudding that everything that I was thinking in season 1 and 2 and 3 were just correct. It's like, yeah, this is proof that they don't like see Entrapped as like anything more than like a pet or some shit, just a tool at their disposal. Which, to be fair, Katra and Hordak looked at her and be like, oh, you can help me. But like, even before Katra knew that Entrapped's like science powers could help the Horde, she was already like adapting and being like, okay, this person doesn't really respond to negative like feedback. Let me be nice. And then hopefully I will get the information in this interrogation that I want. So even before she knew that Entrapped could benefit them, Katra was already adapting and being more accommodating Entrapped. And that was just super sweet, even before she had something to be taken advantage of from her perspective. And that was just really fucking cool. I really like that. Love seeing an Adora analysis video in 2024. The first time I watched She-Ra, I really overlooked the nuances of Adora's character until season 5. But since then, every time I've rewatched the show, I've grown to love her character more and more every time. There's always a new thing I realize about her arc that only makes her all the more endearing to me. Her story is truly uplifting and a huge comfort. It's inspiring. Glimmer's inspiring. Adora's kind of inspiring. I say kind of because it's like not to the same extent as the other characters. I feel like this kind of comment where people are like, what? Somebody is still making She-Ra analysis? Like, yeah, they don't really get nearly as many views as if I made one talking about the nuances in the new Avatar remake. But, you know, this is a thing that people still care about. People still care about representation. People still care about like the emotional breakthroughs that characters have in screen because they relate to it and they see themselves in it. And I could commentate on the most recent thing, but I want to commentate on stuff I want to talk about. Nice to see a video essay, not just crap all over Catra. So one of the interesting things is negative videos do get more attention than positive ones. That's why I had to make this like fucking like help in bloody letters and Adora's fucking cry. The thumbnail is like fixing Adora's self-loathing, because like the overall message of this video is like to inspire you to see more of yourself and to use Adora's journey to illustrate that and give people something that they can like see and latch onto through a media that they already like, because they wouldn't click on this video if they didn't already like She-Ra. Yeah, I do get that, like the crap all over Catra. It's so easy to dunk on Catra because she does so much bad, which is why for my Catra videos it's really easy to be like, Catra the abuser, Catra's crying, and then there's like a wheel about the cycle of abuse, and then it's about how she broke away from the cycle of abuse and how you can too, which is a really fucking positive video. So I think it's just like people know that negativity gets the most attention, therefore they use it to do negativity instead of try to change it up and use negativity to transition to something way more happy like I'm trying to do. Can I just say thank you for being a modder, not brain-dead She-Ra video essayist. I've seen the recent trend after the show and where people suddenly lose all sense of nuance or media literacy and think Catra's the bane of existence, an abuser, and that Adora and Catra are in an abusive relationship, and thus She-Ra supports abuse, despite the entire show being built on overcoming the cycles of abuse. It sucks because this show is full of important, complex messaging that goes beyond good and evil or straight abuse victim. I feel like beyond good and evil, that's a point that I was illustrating with Entrapta. Because the Princess Alliance, despite being the good guys, were way worse to her than the bad guys. But apparently, the second the show ended, people can't handle it anymore. So thank you for having a well-thought-out analytic perspective of the show. Like, to be straight, Adora and Catra are both, like, so mentally unhealthy that they're going to have crazy issues, upholding a solid relationship. It made sense in the Horde since they were kind of like suffering together, kind of like your friends at school. You're not friends outside school nearly as much as you would like to be. It's more like, oh, we have to be in this experience together, so we might as well make the best of it. So now it's like Scorpia went out of her way to spend more time with Catra, which is why if they got together in the end, then I could totally see this working out for them, because Scorpio would try to make it work. As long as Catra put in effort, it would work. But Adora and Catra, they not only don't know what they're doing, but also have to put in way more effort than the likes of Glimmer and Bo will have to. Thank you for making this. It's really interesting to see a lot of my own thoughts put in a linear format. I constantly see conversations about Catra and her story of overcoming abuse, but it makes me so sad how Adora is overlooked given how important her journey is. I think one of the biggest things that gets overlooked about Adora is Catra had plenty of time to work out and overcome it, versus Adora was like, oh, let me take you out of that bad situation, put you in a different bad situation where your life is always at risk 24/7, and she doesn't get a chance to process it, versus Catra did. And that's why Catra is able to help Adora process stuff in the show's finale. I did get my Amphibia character tier list is a lot of views. Anyway, actually, if Sprig wasn't there in the show at all to show the note to Andreas, then Anne and Sasha would have died, because then the core wouldn't have went to try to control Andreas, so Anne and Sasha would die. So I argue that Sprig is important. This is a very good argument, and I forgot about because it was kind of like a last minute thing that happened in the show, but absolutely correct. I mean, while Catra very much disliked the old She-Ra, she is shown to be attracted to the new She-Ra, who also looks more like Adora. She blushes the first time she sees her. Still, it's true that she loves Adora for Adora, and I don't think She-Ra would be used for any private activities unless Adora gets to a point where she won't feel comfortable doing that. We're talking about like the bedroom joke that I made in the video, because people left comments about like, ooh, you think Adora transforms before they do it? It's like, stop it. Cookie, that is like the cutest avatar. I am jealous. Oh yeah, my Glimmer video got like no attention at all. That felt really disappointing. Finally, somebody who praises Glimmer, even if you don't like her personality. I'm just so tired of all the Glimmer slander. Like, people hate Glimmer, but not Catra? Apparently, people only hate Catra, so I'm not sure about that. Also, your vids are underrated. Glazing. Especially your She-Ra Bridge series. I don't really get like a whole lot of attention to my She-Ra Bridge series, to be honest. I find it very cringe. I just cringe whenever I look at my old She-Ra stuff. Not She-Ra stuff, abridgment stuff. Amanda Duke Y70. I'm so confused. I really like your vid, especially because it's been done recently. I still rewatch She-Ra from time to time and also watch vids about it. I like watching videos about Adora because she's also been through a tough childhood and teenhood, although most people only talk about Catra. I also love your Catra vids and her character. I miss reviews and information about Adora. Also, I relate to Adora and her people-pleasing traits. Going over that is a huge process. She has developed a lot when she finally stood up to Catra at the end of Season 3, and when she chose her own destiny at the end of Season 4. For instance, during the season she falls back in the pattern, but not like the way she was in the beginning. As time goes by, she learns how to be more confident and to be more herself, learning her own worth, although that development line is not straight. Just like in real life. Haha, gay jokes. I think Adora's path is admiring, not because she is a protagonist, but because her story is deep. She's a young woman who has just gone to the world and is discovering new things besides what she has been taught. She has gone against beliefs she once knew and is confronting the old baggage she has with the new connections she makes. One has to be really brave to be open to the newness and embrace it. She's not perfect and does not always win. She also makes mistakes and is still learning that she doesn't have to do everything by herself. It's a journey of a person who thinks she is alone because she has to do everything by herself. Therefore, she has difficulty to be vulnerable and to ask for help. Although she knows she has friends and she still sees her friends as people she has to protect. And that's one of the things that makes her story beautiful. She's still learning to receive love and help. And she's not alone. Her friends always remind her that. She's learning she's not the one to take care of everything and everybody. She's also a person that can want things for her personal self, and her desires matter. Yeah, like in the season 4, I think it was, when they have the party, it's Adora and Bo, and they're like, a party for me? She gets so excited, and it's just like such a great moment. I don't know if it was the best choice of words, but I hope y'all got it. Thank you for reading. Congrats for the video. I don't know why this got held for review. I approve of this message. Unfortunately, my camera stopped recording right here. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and like the video if you haven't, and peace.